Would you ever consider moving to another sport? Camera settings for sports to shutter speed especially. Why do you drink so much milk? Would you ever date a fan or subscriber? Hey everyone, my name is Pete. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm in sunny, kind of partly cloudy West Palm Beach, Florida right now. It's about 80 degrees. I'm in my 5-day quarantine for the 2021 Major League Baseball season, and most notably spring training. So I figured I'd do a Q&A while I'm stuck here in this hotel. Let's just get into the questions. I'm gonna try and answer the best of the best, the cream of the crop. So if your question doesn't get answered, I'm sorry. We have a lot, actually, a lot more than I expected. Some funny, some videography, most videography based, so let's get into them. First question, The Dish from Ish asks, what frame rate do you shoot? That's a hard question to answer. I basically shoot on a multitude of frame rates, if that makes sense. Like if I want to do more cinematic filmy look, it'll be probably 24 4K with a lower shutter speed. But if I'm shooting a game, I kind of tend to put my frame rate up higher, like 120 or 60, it depends, mostly 120. And then I put my shutter speed up high so I can get good slow motion in post-production. Would you ever consider moving to another sport? If so, which one? Yes, Mark, I would love to move to another sport. I love baseball. It's what I grew up playing and what my entire family grew up playing. But I love shooting other sports as well. I mean, there's really not a sport I prefer over the other. They're all different and great to shoot in their own ways. I'd say one sport that I really love is soccer. My dream job would be like Arsenal or a team in the Premier League. Or, I mean, really any job, really. I love my job now, so that's not changing. But any team in soccer, Arsenal, Premier League, Europe, would be probably my dream job if I were to change. What's your favorite place you've ever traveled? If I'm being honest, I haven't been too many places, and like I want to go more places, obviously when COVID kind of rescinds. But I think my favorite place I went to was Switzerland. I know I talk about this all the time with my friends, you're probably annoyed if you're around me, but I literally went there for like 4 days and I just loved it. So Max Gutierrez 702, he's got two questions actually. Camera settings for sports to shutter speed especially, and then when do you switch between recording 4K 24 and 1080 120, assuming you're using the Sony A7 III. I kind of explained this already in a previous answer, but I mean, I'd say more game action, I shoot 120. If I'm shooting like cinematics, if I'm with my friends on a road trip, or my boss specifically asks me to shoot 4K 24 because it does look more film. That is traditionally the film look, right? High shutter speeds, high frame rates aren't really associated with a traditional film look. So I'd say when I'm shooting stuff that's not game action, I'll shoot more 24 frames. And then if I'm shooting game action, like I said, always 120 frames per second. And a very high shutter speed. Sometimes I go as high as I can, if I'm being honest. Oh, hold on. Max has a third question. Microphone recommendation around $100. Big fan, by the way, keep it up. Thanks, Max. Microphone recommendation, do not get the Rode VideoMic Pro Go, or VideoMic Go. I'll flash a picture of it right here. It's terrible, it's what I'm using now and I have to wrap it in foil so Wi-Fi signals don't like make it hiss. I'm gonna put my recommendation right here. I'm pretty sure, I can't really think of the name of it, but I know what I'm talking about. Having a good mic is a good investment and it'll last you a couple of years. So like, if you do wanna splash a little couple extra like 10, 20, 30, 40 bucks on it, it'll be worth it, trust me, Max. Danny Marolanda, sorry, I'm butchering your name. Favorite Arsenal moment? Oh, favorite Arsenal moment. Probably the FA Cup against Hull. The first one that we won like since a trophy drought. That was like my favorite moment ever. Obviously all the FA Cup and any time like your team wins a trophy in European football is like incredible. So I'd say that is probably my favorite Arsenal moment by far. Matt Ferracci, my colleague at MLB, asked, how you got so much drip? You know, I really don't have any drip, but thank you, Matt. I have some fashion inspirations. One being like, I'd say A$AP Rocky, Playboy Cardi. Obviously I can't afford the crap that they're wearing. Justin Escalona is another one that I kind of have influence and style from. Phil Brown.K asked, would you rather shoot sports content or travel content? That's a really tough one, Phil, if I'm being honest. That's like a really hard question. I'd say probably sports. I'd say there's more storytelling ability in sports, if that makes sense. It's more genuine. There's obviously a group of fans for every team, and that group of fans is very passionate about their team and how their team performs and the memories with their families and friends behind that team. Whether you know it's winning a Super Bowl or a World Series, or I think sports are a more genuine thing. I love travel content, don't get me wrong. I always like watching Sam Colton do backflips in Tulum, but I can't do that all the time. I don't have the money for that. Michael Serralo asks, favorite moment at Georgia? My favorite moment at Georgia by far is the SEC tournament or SEC championship win over Auburn in 2017. I was like the most nervous I've ever been working an event. Will Ezrin asks, what's a good beginner camera? Shout out Will, known him for a while now. A good beginner camera, I always tell the people the same thing. Sony A6000 or Sony A6300, I'd say now, I guess. What the heck? Those are both two cameras that are very affordable and very high quality. You can get 4K on the 6300. Both those cameras are what I started out with, and they're pretty cheap. So if you want to get that, I always point people in that. It's great for photo and video. My boss, Casey Evans, asks, why do you drink so much milk? If you don't know, I'm a milk connoisseur. I love milk, dairy milk only. Milk is not supposed to come from nuts or oats. I don't mind those though, to be fair. I just grew up drinking a ton of milk. Like I would drink like 3 glasses of milk with dinner. Like, I don't know. I feel like it helped me get a little bit extra muscle mass, if I'm being honest too, as like, I don't know, maybe that's my other boss, Lucas Stevenson, asks, how do people below you feel about the jumps? And that's referring to the pictures I posted with this Instagram story. You know, I'm sure they hate me by now. So Max has 3 more questions actually. Shout out Max, this man's balling on this Q&A. One is Dodgers or Giants? Can't answer that, Max. I'm indifferent. I like every team in MLB. The other one would best E-mount telephoto lens, around $700. I would say Sony 24-240, gives you a lot of range. It's not the best lens in the world, but it's a good starter telephoto lens. And then 70-200 f4, is it worth it in 2020? Yes. Get that. It's gonna be cheaper than the f2.8 because it's a little slower, but it's still fixed aperture, and f4 is still pretty good. So Max, go out and buy that if you do have the capabilities financially. I highly recommend a 70-200. Or that is a lens that I recommended in the sports videography lenses video that everyone should have if you're shooting, especially if you're shooting football. Football or soccer, if you need to go across the field. Basketball, I recommend something a little wider, like an 18-105 or 24-105. Sorry. Jonographer. Jonah, my colleague at MLB, asked, fave quarantine snack? Honestly, I kind of tried to avoid snacks because I don't want to be eating crap all day. I've been eating these slices of provolone cheese. Billy Mulroy has 2 questions. One I'm not going to show on camera here. The other is, who is your 1,000th subscriber and what did you give him as a reward? Billy was my 1,000th subscriber. He waited years so he could be my 1,000th subscriber. Thank you, Billy. And I got a little present for you when I get home. Charlie Nettle asks, hope all is well. Why are you quarantining? Shout out Charlie. Hope you're doing well over there in the UK. I hope everything I hope you're staying healthy, but I am quarantining for work. After this quarantine is up, I can work and interact with Major League Baseball players, obviously to reduce the risk of COVID-19 infections going from employees and support staff into players and coaches. My mom asks, are you having fun yet? Yes, Mom, I'm having fun. I miss you. Aubrey Romeo asks, would you ever date a fan or subscriber? I don't know how to answer that. I guess. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this Q&A. I might do another one in a couple months, who knows. I got another collab with Peter Sorellis coming out next week on Monday. And then probably I'm gonna vlog this entire season. So that's gonna be a grind. This whole season's gonna be a grind, but I'm super excited for it, super stoked to be back in the swing of things. So like and subscribe, like I said, and I'll see you on the next video.